ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ.
So, welcome everybody to the 15th anniversary Sikh class. I mean, we are planning something probably when the weather gets a little bit warmer, probably for something at Colton Hills, that sort of thing. So today we'll do a normal Sikh class, or a regular Sikh class, but we haven't forgotten. We will do something special as well. Just really as a thank you to you guys, because for the last 15 years you guys have been coming month in, month out, and obviously without you guys we wouldn't be doing it. So, you know, heartfelt thank you to yourselves and your parents for your commitment. So today what we'll do is we'll pick up on Japji Sahib Katha, and we'll pick up on verse number 4. We introduced verse number 4 last time, but we did go into any level of detail. So today we'll just focus, as part of the first part of the programme, we'll focus on verse 4, and then after the break, after we listen to some Kirtan, we'll then go on to 5. So please, again, some of the concepts, apologies, some of the concepts are quite difficult to get your heads around, but the way that we are trying to position is this: with Japji Sahib Katha, it would be good for you to continually listen to Katha, and you'll build your knowledge base as you listen to it more and more. And when you listen to it over time as well, you'll find that because you've got the sort of stronger basis from previously, you'll understand it that much better the second time or the third time that you listen to it. So we'll kick off now onto verse 4.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do body 4 before the break, and then we'll do body 5 after the break with some Kirtan in between. So let's do the part first of the body all together, and that'll give us a feel for what we're going to discuss. Yeah, so all together. Satya Sahib Akhya Paupa Akhya Manghe Daat Kare Data Fir Ke Rakhiye Jis Se Darbar Maho Ke Bolan Boliye Jis Antare Pyar Amrit Vela Sach Naam Vidiyai Vichar Karmi Aave Kapra Nagri Mukh Dwar Nanak Hai Janiye Sab Aapne Satya.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll quick summary of where we got to. So we obviously did Mool Mantra, which is where Japji Sahib starts. And Mool Mantra starts with what? Ik. The whole concept of Sikhi, Guru Nanak Dev Ji's message is around Ik. Ik Vaheguru. And Mool Mantra is a brief description of Vaheguru. And then in the first body we discussed how people try to achieve their journey of their life, which is to merge with Vaheguru. Give Satyara Huiye, give Kure Tutte Pal, were the 2 questions. And within that, there were 4 different methods that people generally tried, which was being pure. The second one was being quiet, both internally and from a physical speaking point of view. Third one was to fulfill desires. Yeah, and the 4th one was to obtain knowledge. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji said none of these will work. Why? Because the answer is that we have to remain within the hukam of Vaheguru. Hukam Rajai Chalana, Nanak Likhya Now. With all of us is a hukam. And Vaheguru has a hukam, or a command, of how he works the universe and how everything interlinks and how things work. And what stops us reaching Vaheguru is a wall, a veil, or a wall of falsehood. And Maharaj says we have to break that wall of falsehood, and by that we need to understand the hukam. So the next body was about hukam, that hukam kehana jai, that the hukam is so big, incomprehensible, that we cannot quantify the hukam, but we must live with the hukam. So we have to hukam understand. Nanak hukme je bujje, we have to understand it. Bujjana panapano, otherwise we will not be able to walk on the path. So last month we talked about the next body, the Gave Kotan, and the different ways what the people worship God. God is a Tan, yeah, that God is a Dada, or and other methods we discussed. So that Pauri ended. So thus far we can say that Vaheguru is the Hukami, he is the commander. His Hukam is the command, and everything works. And Vaheguru sits back, Nanak Vigse Ve Parwao. Vaheguru is Ve Parwao, he is carefree. Everything works, he just sits back and observes and lets the whole system work through. He's Vigse. Vigse meant what? What did Vigse mean? Can you remember? Nanak Bhaktan Sada Vikas. Hanji Prahlad Singh. Happy, joyful, yeah. So Vaheguru is so that's the three Pauringa summarised very quickly. So that's what those three Pauringa mean. So today we'll start at Sacha Sahib.
Okay, so we start with this concept of Sacha Sahib. Sacha Sahib, what is or what makes Vaheguru Sacha Sahib? The way that this is often explained is in sort of worldly terms, you often have a Malik, somebody that owns property, often owns land, often owns whatever else, assets. And in Guru Nanak Dev Ji's eyes, to be called Sacha Sahib, there is only one entity that is Sacha Sahib, in the true essence of what Sacha Sahib is. Because if you remember, we talked a little bit about this last time, is ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਾਲਕ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਬਦਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ. So often you'll find people's houses will have the name of a person, that this residence belongs to Mr. and Mrs. whoever. But these people go, they leave this worldly coil, and their nameplates are then replaced by somebody else. Somebody else owns that house. And there's one particular Sakhi where Bhagat Kabirji goes to the house of a very well-to-do person, and he goes to this house, and he knocks on the door, and he asks to stay at this house. He refers to it as something as a shared entity. He said, "I'd like to stay at this place, this hostel." And the person who opened the door said, "No, I own this house. This is not a hostel for you to stop overnight." And Bhakt Kabirji then finally says to this person, he said, "Some years before this, I came here to this very same house, and the owner was different. It was somebody else. I stayed a night." He said, "Yes, that was my father." The person said, "That was my father." And he said, "Even before that, I came here, and somebody else stayed here. I stayed here with somebody else." And he said, "Oh yeah, that was my grandfather." And Bhakt Kabirji was explaining to this person, he said that you might have homme, you might have pride, but in essence, we're not Maliks of anything. Only Vaheguru is the true Malik, because remember, Vaheguru we've described as nature, as unchanged. And the very idea of something that doesn't change, it means it doesn't die. It stays the same. Only Vaheguru is that. So the first line, Sacha Sahib, Sachanai, that Vaheguru is Sacha because Vaheguru is perpetual. Sacha Sahib is the true concept, is the true idea that this is the true Malik of everything. And not only that, but Vaheguru's Naam is also Sacha as well, is perpetual. And the embodiment of Vaheguru, or the embodiment of Vaheguru's power, is in his Vaheguru's name.
Yeah. So what we're saying is that everybody else is not Satya because they eventually perish and die. We said that only the Karta, the creator, is forever, and everybody else is finite in their age. So Sacha Sahib, Satyanai. And then the next part of it says, Bhakya Pao Apar. So I'm going to go back to the other slide, which was the second question on there. Bhakya Pao Apar. Now Vaheguru, there's a question here. I'll come on to the meanings of Bhakya. So the first question we raised on that slide was, who is the true Sahib? So we know that the true Sahib is Vaheguru, because Vaheguru is forever and everybody else is not. And we just heard a Sakhi which demonstrates that. So the next question then is, because some of the questions in here are raised by the Siddhs when Guru Nanak Dev Ji met the Siddhs, because they said, you've told us the Mool Mantra, you've told us the many ways, and now you're saying that the Malik, Vaheguru, is the true Sahib, the true Malik. So in order to get closer to Vaheguru, they asked the question, what language what is God's language so that people can understand God?
So the context of this question is, at the time, the Hindu fraternity would believe that Sanskrit was the language of the gods, of God. The Muslims of the time thought that Arabic was the language of God. Sufis believed that Farsi, Persian, was the language of God. Jews believed that Hebrew was the language of God. So what the Sikhs were trying to get Guru Nanak Dev Ji to say was, which worldly language is the language of God? But Guru Nanak Dev Ji answers this question very uniquely. Guru Nanak Dev Ji says that the language of God is Paul, is love. And the type of love that Guru Nanak Dev Ji is referring to isn't attachment type love, isn't the sort of love that we would probably associate with love as parental love, or in a family concept, in a family type environment love. No, it's a very different type of love. And we'll talk a little bit about that now.
Yeah, before we move on. So, in terms of language, now, if somebody came, is anybody fluent in Russian? No? So if we were doing this today in Russian, we could be talking to you for the next 2 hours and you would have gone home and said, what were they on about? Hope you don't do that anyway. But language is important, because in order to understand somebody or something, then you need to understand the language. And Guru Nanak is saying here is that it's very important to understand the language of Vaheguru, the language of God. So if the answer to the language question is none of those, it's not Hebrew, it's not Sanskrit, and it's not Arabic, the question then, Guru Nanak Dev Ji then says, Vakya Pao, and then Apar. Apar means has no far end. So if you're going to go across a river, you say, Main nadi par kiti hai, I got to the other side. If it's Apar, it cannot be crossed, because the other side is either so far away or there is no other side. So God's love is not only infinite, but it's a bar that in that it cannot be quantified. It's that much. Yeah. Love or pyar or nail cannot be described, because it's different to each person, and how much you feel and how much people feel depends. So the question is, so if we let's have another example of boli. So Prahlad Singh, you play tabla. Harjan Singh, you play tabla. Teen taal da ki bol hai? Kaise? You know, the honest answer is I don't know. Is he right? Yeah. Okay. Well, you're right. But what we're saying is only somebody else who understands. So these guys over here understand what you've just said, because they understand that language. Unfortunately, I don't. I'll pretend I do by going like this, yeah? But I don't understand that language, but you do. And equally, in order to understand Vaheguru's language, we have to understand what Vaheguru's saying. But Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj says, none of the worldly languages is the language of God. The language of God instead is love. So Sacha Sahib, Sajanai. He is the true Malik, the true Sahib, the true Lord. Yeah? His name is Satya, and his language is love. Bhakya Pao Apar. So this first line, while it's only a number of words, great deep meanings. Bhakya Pao Apar.
So we talk a little bit about.
I was just going to mention, so if you listen, how many of the do you know any shabds that talk about pyar or neho or love? Jo to, yeah. And another word for love is preet. Bhakt Ravidas ji says, Sachi preet ham tumse ho jodi. So preet is another one, yeah.
Guru Gobind Singh Ji in Sahib, what does Guru Gobind Singh Ji, what reference does he make?
Sach kaho, sun liyo ho, and the next line, Jin prem kiyo tin hi prapao.
So Guru Gobind Singh Ji is saying that unequivocally, without a shadow of doubt, if you want to become one with God, you can't bypass love. Love is going to be the way that you do it. There isn't any other way.
Okay, and did you want to talk about unconditional love?
Yes.
In terms
okay. Yeah, so we talk a little bit about what is this type of love that Guru Nanak Dev Ji is referring to, i.e. God's love. It's unconditional. It's unconditional because the love that Waheguru gives us, Waheguru doesn't expect anything back from us. Yeah? Waheguru is not any greater or any less us remembering, simmering God. Waheguru will give us everything that Waheguru has given us every day without Waheguru wanting us to thank him for it. Now, the thanking bit is for our benefit because by Waheguru Simar there, if you remember Waheguru, we're doing good for ourselves. We're not doing it for Waheguru's sake because Waheguru is not diminished in any way. Now, Waheguru provides his infinite gifts to all of us, regardless of what we are, good, bad or indifferent. Now, Guru Nanak Dev Ji gave us some glimpses of this type of love. Now, Guru Nanak Dev Ji spent most of his adult life travelling and speaking to people that maybe didn't even want to talk about Waheguru. Some people were hostile, openly hostile, and Wali Kandari shoves a boulder towards Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Guru Nanak Dev Ji stops that boulder. Yeah, he takes away Wali Kandari's pride and exchanges it with love. Yeah, you have somebody like Sajjan Tug. Sajjan Tug had spent his time, his life, slitting people's throats and taking their worldly goods from them, whilst pretending to be their friend. Guru Nanak Dev Ji breaks his mind, his sort of evil thoughts, and exchanges it with love. Guru Nanak Dev Ji gives him mukti, saves it. Now, this is pretty amazing because Guru Nanak Dev Ji is faced with often untold dangers, but Guru Nanak Dev Ji is not fazed by it. That's Waheguru's love. There's no return. Other examples, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji give their cease at Delhi for an idea, for a concept that he himself doesn't believe in. The Tilak and the Janju, as we often talk about, the Tilak and the Janju, spiritually meant nothing to Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji. Guru Nanak Dev Ji rejected it so many years later. But Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji gives his cease, and what does Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji ask for in return? Nothing. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, apna sara sarbanch dani kita, gave all of his everything, not just his family, but everything. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji asked for nothing in return. That's unconditional love. Guru Arjan Dev Ji is visited by a prince who is in exile. Guru Arjan Dev Ji gives him shelter, knowing that whilst I'm giving this prince shelter, because as a Sikh, that's what we do. If somebody comes to us for help, we don't turn them away. Guru Arjan Dev Ji's principle was that. But Guru Arjan Dev Ji gives him shelter, to the point where he then, the prince, when he's captured, it's found out that Guru Arjan Dev Ji had given him shelter, and Guru Arjan Dev Ji then became an enemy, so-called an enemy of the state. So these are just examples of where the Gurus have actually given us a glimpse. Now, when we talk about langar as well, the whole concept of langar is about serving, is about unconditionally serving. We don't sort of say to somebody, oh, you know, when were you born? We don't sort of tick things off on a sheet before we give somebody langar. We say that langar is actually open to everybody. So the idea is that unconditional love is something that has no exchange. Worldly love, as an opposite to this, is often, or is all about there being exchange, being a trade, yeah, and the trade often is two people or or within a family. There is an exchange of love, yeah, but often that love is based on I'm your child, I'm your parent, and that's the reason why there's that love. It's not based on there being no sort of reason behind it.
And Maharaj makes a distinction between more. What's more? What's the English word for more? Andy, did you just think?
Hatred?
Not hatred. Begins with A. Andy?
Arrogance.
Not arrogance. Anger. Attachment. More is attachment. Yeah, so when we talk about the 5 evils, Kaam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Hankar. Yeah, more is the attachment. A human is attached to his family, a human is attached to his money, a human is attached to his wealth, his land, his car, his clothes, yeah, even his beauty. And this is more. It's an attachment. It's a falsehood. Yeah, and Guruji says, make the distinction between love, pyar, and more. Yeah, we can have more for our children, but that's not necessarily love. Love is something different. We'll discover later on. So it's just to say, so Bhakya Pauri, the language of Vaheguru is love, is pyar. So go back to the Pauri. So, first line. Sacha Sahib, altogether. Sacha Sahib, Sach Nai, Bhakya Pauri. So we now know what that means. Next line says, altogether, Ake, Mange, and again. How many times did you say there? Twice? Okay, we'll come back to that. So, we said that Vaheguru is a data, he gives. People speak, they arc. They something, they speak. And in their speak or their talk, when they arc something, when they say something, okay, they munge. So if I say Koshimunga, I say, children are the worst, aren't they, for munge? Yeah? When a child wants something because they're still young, and they say to their parents, they. Have you heard that? You used to do it when you were little. Yeah? The word they, repeatedly said, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. And people are like that, humans are like that. Every day, regardless of their, they believe in God, but they believe in God in the way of that God is there to give. Ake Mange. So the pyar may not be there, the power might not be there yet. At the moment it's about satisfying worldly goods, or even some spiritual goods, but not necessarily to meet with Vaheguru. And they Ake Mange. They mung.
An example of that is where sometimes people say that all karna, try and please God, please Vaheguru. And in exchange, they then expect something back from Vaheguru. Or we will by doing this, Vaheguru should bless me with this. And seemingly, if they believe that Vaheguru hasn't given them what they wanted, they then have a problem with it. They'll say, well, Vaheguru Minutani. Almost that bond, that relationship that they have with Vaheguru is then under pressure, is compromised, because what they wanted, they haven't received. Now, in the world of Guru Nanak Dev Ji says that when we ask for something from Vaheguru, we get it. However, we don't necessarily get it straight away. And often, and sometimes, we don't even get it in this lifetime. So, our wants, our requirements from Vaheguru, yes, and Arjaida, there's lots of it. There's so much of it. It's infinite almost. And yet our life is finite. Yeah, that our lives are actually relatively short. And by the time we leave this world, that all of those months that we have haven't been completed. Now, in Guru Nanak Dev Ji Sikhi, the belief is that from this life, Vaheguru then blesses us in our next life. It's a continual giving. So that's where this idea of awi mil jawe. And basically there are like three types of people here that we can categorize. That for some people it's a very trading type relationship with Vaheguru. So they are what you'd call vapari, traders if you like. That their relationship with God is based on vapar. If you give me this, I'll give you that. Assume is somebody who is very selfish. Yeah? Yeah? that I keep receiving, but I won't give anything in return. And then the third type of person is a daniya, somebody that gives. Yeah, so we're just giving some examples of how Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Guru Arjan Dev Ji, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji, Guru Gobind Singh Ji just give, then diya. Yeah, so in a true sense of the word, they are dani. Even other people outside of the Guru Maharajas, yeah, there are people that just give. You'll see people in the world, yeah, they just all they want to do is give. They don't want anything back in return. So there is a very clear category of three people, or three types of people.
So Ake Mange De and Wahiguru is a data. So all those are based on book. And we said in the first body, Bukya Bukana Uttari. Yeah, we know that already. So Ake Mange De and Wahiguru is the datar, dat kare datar. And Wahiguru is his storehouse is unlimited. So he keeps giving. And as we heard, if those books aren't satisfied in this lifetime, people are in this chakra, this Churasi Lakh June, where they're born again and born again and born again, and their desires have been fulfilled. But the one desire that they came to this earth to fulfill is still unfulfilled. So Wahiguru Ji Maharaj is saying that here, that daat kare datar, that Wahiguru the datar, yeah, vadda data til na tamai. Did we say that later on, I think? Yeah? That Wahiguru is the vadda data. He's the greatest giver. Yeah? Tu data data tera ditta khavana. Everything that we had comes from Wahiguru. Our arms, our legs, our eyes, everything that we have, our mothers and fathers, our parents, and everything we have is a dart from Wahiguru. But Wahiguru doesn't say Nema Denani. He says, according to your bhakti, according to your deeds, Tolma Dena. Yeah? So Ake Mange Dehe Dehe Daat Kare Datar. The datar continues to give the dart or the gift. So the Siddhs say, we understand that you say Wahiguru Sacha Sahib is Satnam, and the language to meet Wahiguru is Pao, Bakya Pao Apar. We know that people ask and God fulfills. So if it's not by asking for things, how do we get closer to God? So the next line of the body says, altogether, fear. Fear ke agge rakhiye. What can we put for God? We can't buy God. We can't buy God's love. Fear ke agge rakhiye jit disse darbar. That to get to your court, yeah. Sometimes if you want something or you need to put something before somebody of power or authority, you have to go to their court and plead your case. So here the question is, fear ke agge rakhiye. If not the other things, then what? Fear. Fear ke agge rakhiye. What shall we place before God? Jit disse darbar. Okay. Anything to add?
Yeah. No. So. Sorry.
If not, I'll carry on.
Yeah.
Okay. So that one's quite simple. Fear ke agge rakhiye jit disse darbar. The answer. What's the next line? Oh, it's another question still. Further question. So the follow-up question. Go on all together. Okay. So we come back to pyar. Yeah. With our moh ke bolan bolige. What can we say with our mouth? Yeah. Jit sun. By God listening to that He graces us with His love. Moh ke bolan bolige jit santare pyar. Okay, so we need to invoke God by having pyar, giving pyar, engaging in pyar. Yeah. So the questions there. So the two lines were: Fear ke agge rakhiye jit disse darbar, moh ke bolan bolige jit santare pyar. So in order to get the pyar, we need to do something. And Guru Nanak Dev Ji says the answer is as follows.
Okay, so Guru Nanak Dev Ji, as we often say about Japji Sahib, has made the Bani into like a conversation. It's conversational Bani. So Guru Nanak Dev Ji poses a question and then gives the answer. And the answer in this case is what?
All together? What's it say? All together.
Everybody?
Amrit Vela. And again. Okay.
So the answer, the question that was posed is, what can we do, say, what actions can we put in front of Waheguru that Waheguru then blesses us, graces us? And the answer is Amrit Vela Sajjana Bhakhya Bhavat. Amrit Vela Sajjana Bhakhya Bhavat. Okay. So Amrit Vela, what is Amrit Vela, first of all? Amrit Vela, what is it?
When you wake up in the morning, yeah?
Okay. Yeah, so Amrit Vela is often translated in English as the ambrosial hour. Is that time of the day that we believe that Amrit, that nectar is abound. It's not the day, it's not the night, it's somewhere in between. And in Sikhi, we believe that during the day we work, at night we sleep, but that the time in between we should place in front of Waheguru. That belongs to Waheguru. And that ambrosial hour, or those ambrosial hours, are those ones where during the day, if we're working, our minds are on work. At night, we sleep, we rest. But that gives us little or no time for Waheguru. How do we find this grace of Waheguru? How do we invoke this grace from Waheguru? And for us to preserve, is for us to use that Amrit Vela to become one with Waheguru, is to simmer, is to read Bani during this Amrit Vela.
Okay. And we jump it. So we get up at Amrit Vela, we do Ishnan, so the body is in a good position, and then there's less disturbances, as we heard. That is the time where we're less likely to, before mobile phones came, yeah? And in particular, if you go to Punjab, if you wake up later than Amrit Vela, the whole place becomes very noisy. People wake up early. Why? Because it gets too hot later in the day. And the whole atmosphere becomes very loud very soon. So if you're not in Amrit Vela doing your part, it's very difficult to concentrate and doing part. Yeah? This part of the world, probably because enclosed houses, is a little bit different, but still, nonetheless, Amrit Vela is a difficult concept to not actually understand, but to actually practice. Because Amrit Vela and cold days like today, you don't want to come out your Rajai, do you? Yeah? You get that. Mums and dads say, school that day, we'll get to see all that sort of stuff. So Amrit Vela is hard enough anyway, but Maharaj says we must make the effort. Yeah? Because without Uddam, you can't get up. So in the Shabd that we often talk about, where Guru Ram Das Ji describes the Sikh, he says, Uddam kare palke par parti, Ishnan kare amrasar nave. So you have to make that effort. And eventually it comes, but if you can't do it, that doesn't mean Naam Japana Sharda. Do your bhakti, do your Naam Simran, do your part when you can. And some people have the belief that whenever you do part, Ohi Amrit Vela. But ideally, Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, don't let that become an excuse. Because he bara hoye utھ ke apna nitnem kariye. Yeah? Amrit Vela Sajjana. When the night is turning into day and has not yet become day, is Amrit Vela. And what do we do then? We talk about Vadayai Vichar. If you Vichar, what does Vichar mean? Discourse, contemplate, think about. Yeah? We think about God's greatness, God's gun, Vadayaiya, greatnesses. Yeah? Satguru Vadda Kar Salaiya, jis vich Vadiyan Vadayaiya. Waheguru and the Guru are full of Vadayaiya, full of gun. And the next body will say, why do we sing God's gun? Yeah? But at the moment the instruction is Amrit Vela Satnam Vadayai Vichar.
Okay. So what's the next line then?
All together again. So it's louder the second time.
So this idea that Abdul Dehimaniya, this body that we have, the reason why we have this dahi is because what our previous actions have been good. Waheguru has blessed us with this kapra. Yeah, Guruji is referring to our bodies as kapra. Is that apa kapra chura liya ho? We've got a different body now. A different kapra is on us now. In much the same ways we can change our shirts, our dresses, whatever. Yeah, so because of good actions, apne jehde karm se na karmi ave kapra. Because of those good actions, Waheguru has blessed us. But then, by the same token, what is it that we then need to go beyond this? What are we going to do with it? And what's the answer in the second part?
So, if I move on then, so do we understand what we mean by mok dwar? Dwar ki hunda? What's a dwar? Anji. Not a wall. Yes, I think you're thinking about a dawar, yeah?
Is it a gate?
A gate or a door, yeah? Yeah, Gur, Dawar, the door to the Guru. Yeah, so why here Maharaj is saying, Nadri Mok Dawar. Through grace, through Vaheguru's Nadar, we get Mokti, Mok, liberation, deliverance, through a door.
Yeah. So that's the first bit is what we have done in our previous lives, that Waheguru has blessed us with this opportunity. But the next bit that then takes us to Waheguru's Waheguru's dwar, Waheguru's door, is grace. Yeah, that some will, some won't, and what's that dependent on? Is Waheguru's grace. Yeah, so this idea is that yes, there's actions, free will that make us and give us the opportunity, but for us then to make total advantage of this opportunity is we need Waheguru's grace. Yeah, some people often ask, well, why does somebody reach mukti and somebody doesn't? Because they're blessed by Waheguru, and no other reason. Yes, they are more likely to be blessed by Waheguru because of what they continue to do. Yeah, and yes, opportunity isn't always the same, but without Waheguru's grace, then another, we can't reach mukti. Yeah. That last bit, we need Waheguru's grace.
So those that do get up at Amrit Vela and do Vadiyai Vichar, that is pleasing to Waheguru. Yeah, remember the question? Fir ke age rakhiye jit isse darbar mahon ke bolan bolige jit suntare pyar. And those that get up at Amrit Vela and do the Vichar of Waheguru, and Waheguru's gone, they get that nadar. Yeah? That's why sometimes you say, Ete kaate nadar hui, ete kaate nadar hui. Or maybe they haven't got the power, the love. They might be doing the action, and in the next body we'll hear a little bit more. So, Karmi ave kapra nadri mohtwa. And Maharaj finishes this body off by saying, Nanak eve janiye, sab ape sachya. All together? Guru Nanak says, know this. Yeah, Guru Nanak says, know this. Eve janiye. To jan, to know. Yeah. But Waheguru, we started off by saying Satya Sahib, Sab Ape Satyar. Waheguru is Satyar, everything else is false. Yeah? Give Satyara Huye, give Kure Tutte Pa. We have to become one with God, and that happens by singing Waheguru's praises. Yeah? So, Sab Ape Satyar. Waheguru himself is Satyar. Only by merging in Waheguru does become some Satyar. Until that point, people aren't Satyar. They're working towards it, but Halim Mukti ni mali. The Mok Dawar from the previous line has not been achieved. Yeah.
So, just an example of this, there's a Persian philosopher called Hafiz. He talks about this idea of not even understanding Waheguru. I can't even begin to understand Waheguru. Your power, what you are. But what I can say, unequivocally, without a doubt, is all is you. Yeah? Sab ape satya. That everything that you are is such. Yeah? So I don't even need to worry about how great Waheguru is, because you are everything. Everything is within you. Okay. So just going back a little bit about the Amrit Vela. Why is Amrit Vela so important? And by Gurdas Ji talks about this idea, this concept of Amrit Vela, and he gives it a real sort of a heartfelt example, really, of how he believes Amrit Vela is so important. He said that as a trying to give a sort of an idea of how great Amrit Vela is. He says that if I was head to toe chopped down, yeah, chopped into little pieces, he said I would love for a Gorsek then to come stamp all over what's left of me. That somebody that preserves their Amrit Vela come and tread all over me. I have no problem with a Gorsek standing on top of me once I've been cut limb from limb. What's left of me, he says, burn that. Yeah, burn the ashes. Burn the remnants of what's left. And so when those ashes are burnt, may those then become the dust of the Gorsek's feet. And then what's left after that, the bones, he said, let that blow in the wind, so that in the morning, when a Gorsek is going to preserve their Amrit Vela, that even then on their path towards Amrit Vela and doing their bhakti, may I become dust of their feet there. So Bhai Gurdas Ji was known for his nimitta, for his love of Gorseks. Yeah, but this is such an example of that he himself says that even coming close, becoming part of the Gorsek that preserves their Amrit Vela would actually give me greatness as well. And often we see people who go to darbars, gurdware, mandars or anything. If you ever see people place the duri of the dwar, yeah, people will place the dust of the doorway onto their foreheads. The reason why they do that is that they believe that if that dust belongs to a Gorsek or somebody that preserves their simran, their bhakti, that even just the mere action would give them a blessing because of it.
Okay, we're going to break in a bit. Any questions? Does that make sense? Did any of that didn't make sense? Always confusing. Tixi? Yeah? Okay, it's 5-2, yeah? Because we've come to the natural break. So we'll take 5 minutes, yeah? Have a break, have a stretch, then we'll come back and we'll listen to some Kirtan first, yeah? And then we'll do 45 between the rest of the time, yeah? ठीक है? चलो, have a break. वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की
See how they got what about there?
We continue now then
Yep.
with Japji Sahib Pauri 5.
Okay, so what we're talking about is Waheguru's Swaroop, Waheguru's form. How do we become one with that Waheguru? And we've talked about how Waheguru is such, is for perpetual truth. But for man to become one with the perpetual truth, he has to break this wall of falsehood. And often that wall of falsehood is built through homme, is built through this idea that man is something, is worth something, does something. But no, Waheguru does everything. We are mere puppets in Waheguru's grand plan. So we talk about Waheguru's Swaroop as being carefree, as being one where Waheguru observes and achieves happiness just by observing what he has created. Waheguru is both the creator, but also lives within his creation as well. So we talked about that, this concept of being the creator and also being present within that same creation, which is a unique one. Okay, so we now talk about this Hukami, this Waheguru, and we further explain some of the concepts that are associated with Waheguru.
Okay, yeah. So when the Siddhs are asking Guru Nanak Dev Ji about God, they say that God's hukam cannot be explained, it's outside explanation. But they talk about how and when and if was God established, was God created, and how we already said, how did we get closer to God? And Guru Nanak Dev Ji explains further now. So if we look at the Pauri itself, if we go to the part, we'll do what we did last time, we'll do the part of the Panjami Pauri all together, and then we'll start to look at the meanings, yeah? It's come up on the screen. Okay, all together. Tapya na jai, kita na hoy, ape aap niranjan soy, jin sevya tin paraman, nanak gaviye puni nidan, gaviye suniye manak kya pao, dukh paraj sukh karya jai, gurmukh nadam, gurmukh vedam, gurmukh rasamai, guri isar gur gorik, gurma gur, parvati vain, jai ho jana आखाना ही कहना कथन न जाए बुराई देव जाए सपना जिया काय दाता सो मैं विसर न जाए. Okay, so Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj says, when asked the question, how was God established? And Guru Nanak Dev Ji says, Waheguru Ji Thapya na jai. Now, if we talk about kings are established or established kingdoms. And they conquer kingdoms. In past, people have conquered kingdoms. People like Alexander the Great. He goes into different parts of the world and on a Stapana Kardandasi as the king of this country, having defeated the previous ruler. But Waheguru has never been defeated. He's never been established as being God. It wasn't a case of there was Father of God and Father of God no longer exists, and now God's come in and the Son of God will take over. We spoke about that. Such as Sahib, there's such Mark. Waheguru is not Tapya. He's not established in any way. He's always been Tapya na jai. And secondly, he's Gita na hoy. He's not created. All of us are created. We are Waheguru's gift. Waheguru Ji is the Karta. The Karta is supreme. The Krit is Waheguru's making, but does not exist forever.
Okay. Okay, so the idea or the really important point here is Waheguru is the creator. Man is the Krit, is the created being of Waheguru, not the other way around. You know, this idea that man creates God or creates the concept of God. Guru Nanak Dev Ji rejects this thoroughly. Yeah, that man is the creation of Waheguru, not the other way around.
Okay, so Waheguru, then the Siddhs ask, if God is not Tapya and he's not Gita, or he's not established and he's not created, they say, how then does God come into existence? And Maharaji says, Ape aap. All together? Ape aap. So the first bit before we get to the pause is Ape aap. God is from within himself. Asa ਦੀਵਾਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪੇ ਨੇ ਆਪ ਸਾਜਿਓ ਆਪੇ ਨੇ ਰਚਿਓ now. From within himself, God created everything else. We did the creation program, and we said with the Nard, all the whole universe and everything that Waheguru has created continues to be created. God's creation is perpetual, it goes on forever. So, ape ap, so he is neither tapya nor kita. Instead, Waheguru is ape ap, from within himself. When we said Serpang, what does Serpang mean? Self-illuminated. So Waheguru needs no other Shakti, no other power to project himself or to be himself. He is Serpang, he is from within himself, his power within himself. Ape Ab. And then Waheguruji is Niranjan So. So it means is. Niranjan means what? Don't just say immaculate.
Let's break the word down a little bit. The Anjan refers to sarma. You know, like in Indian culture, people wear sarma on their eyes. It's basically like a black pencil. Anjan is like a black pencil, and for various reasons, people used to wear sarma, and some people used it as a dot. For superstitious reasons. Some people used it before they got married, so they supposedly would look more beautiful. Women wore it like makeup. But Anjan is basically a black a pencil, basically like a lead pencil that you would use, or is like a sarma type entity. Now, if you put the nir in front of it, it means that it's something that doesn't have a mark. Yeah, so it's not something that you can create a mark with, which is the opposite of Anjan. Niranjan means it's blotless, without a mark, and the English translation you see here is immaculate, pure, unblemished, without a mark.
Okay, so let's open that up a little bit more about Waheguru and Waheguru in his creation. So Bhakt Kabirji says that Waheguru has created the creation, and it's like a painting. So if somebody paints something, a scene of a mountain or a portrait, we often go to the artist or the sculptor and we say, you've made or created a very beautiful painting or a very beautiful sculpture. Yeah, the person has created that painting. And Bhakt Kabir says that Waheguru has painted the whole universe. His creation is like a painting. He paints it. He's painted you and I. He's painted the mountains, the skies, the universe, the stars, the flowers, the grass, the animals, the little tiny insects here that we can't even see. Waheguru has. So often we admire or we congratulate the person who's the painting. We say this is a great painting. But Bhakt Kabirji says we should be appreciative of Waheguru, because through God's grit we see God, but we should not forget God and be involved with just the grit. So, okay, nice houses, nice cars, nice atmospheres, in nice environments are all God's creation. But they are God's creation, and by seeing them, we should start to worship God and not the actual creation. And sometimes we have Maya, money, wealth, and we stop to worshipping God, and we start worshipping the Maya or the possessions.
If you remember, when we were doing the positioning program for Japji Sahib, we mentioned that there were people during the time of Japji Sahib that were worshipping what they saw as the power of what they saw as the power of God. So they would see a volcano, they would see fire, and they would worship it. Because one, they were fearful of it, and they were thinking that if we praise it, maybe it will save us. People worshipped certain animals like snakes because people were terrified of snakes. By worshipping it, they thought that by worshipping it, we would become free of it. But the message that Bhakt Kabirji has given is the creation itself is not the one or the entity that's worthy of praise. It's the creator that's worthy.
So, Waheguru is in his creation. Now, Guru Tegh Bahadur Ji has written a shabd. I'll find it in time. And yeah. And in it, it describes, or we could say it will describe, how God is in His creation, but outside His creation as well. So you may have heard this shot before. Actually, let it build, yeah. Okay. Now, people look for God, and often people look for God in all different places. Do you remember the first body was all about where is God, how do we find God, those questions. So Guru Tegh Bahadur asks a question. He says to the people that look for God outside, he says, Kahe re ban khojan jai. Ban is the forest, and people would abandon their houses and go and do tapasya or worship in forests, thinking they could find God there. But Guru Tegh Bahadur goes on to say, Sarv Nivasi Sada Alepa Tohi Sang Samai. Vaheguru is alep, he's unattached. He's in it, but at the same time, he's Sarv Nivasi, he pervades in everything, he is in everything. So we say, who's the Nivasi of this house? Who resides in that house? Vaheguru is Sarv Nivasi. He resides everywhere. Yeah? But at the same time, he is Sada Alepa, he's alep, he's separate to it. In it, so Vaheguru's in us, but outside of us. So Sada Alepi. So why, he says then, Tohi Sang Samaya, he's in you, he's Samaya in you, he's with you all the time. And so I'm just going to finish off there. So he says, well, why, this, an example of this then is like the fragrance in a flower. You don't have to actually take the flower, you can get close to a flower and smell the fragrance. So the fragrance is in the flower and outside of the flower. So Vaheguru says, Vaheguru is like, Guru Tegh Bahadur said that Vaheguru is like the fragrance of a flower, and equally he's like the reflection of you when you look at yourself in the mirror. It's not you, it's a reflection of you. So you're in the mirror, but you're also not in the mirror. You understand that? Yeah? So Sarv Nivasi Sada Alepa Tohi Sang Samai. Vaheguru is in his creation, but he's also outside of his creation.
So two words to add to our glossary when we come to date it. Vyapak means something that's contained within. Nirlep means separate. Now Vaheguru has the gun of being Vyapak and also Nirlep at the same time. Yeah. It's like we talk about other concepts where Vaheguru is one thing but also at the same time something else as well. Which are on the face of it you would say is contradictory. But Vaheguru's gun are such that Vaheguru is beyond the sort of human limitations, if you like, that we judge Vaheguru by sometimes by thinking, well, how can that be? But we're basing our judgment on what we believe, what we see and do, and are able to do ourselves, which is obviously beyond what Vaheguru does.
So far in this body then we've said that Vaheguru is neither tapya. Tapya na jai, kita na hoy, but instead is ape ap, and he is Niranjan Soy. And the next line then says, Jin sevya tin paya man. So, Jin sevya. Now what sort of seva do we do? Hanji? Langar. Ho. How about seva outside the Gurdwara? Hanji? Charity. Ho.
Giving to the homeless.
Okay. Hanji?
I don't know if I would count it as save. I'm only making food.
Is you making food? Fair tea, yeah. Yeah. Okay. The two we said charity and homeless, yeah? Now, seva there is associated with those who have less than us. Now, okay, we do seva Gurdwara, that's part and parcel, yeah? We call it seva, but I think I would call it our duty, that it has to happen without any desire. But this sort of seva here, we're talking about that Vaheguru, it says here, Jin Sevya. Now, Vaheguru is all powerful. So, we talked about homeless and charity, giving to those who haven't necessarily got the power to have food themselves or get homes themselves. So we give to help. So we could generally say those people are less fortunate than us or less able than us. And normally we say seva odi kari daiya, who is ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਕਮਜ਼ੋਰ. So really Rab di ਆਪਾਂ seva, we can't do Rab seva by saying we'll do something physical for God. Yeah? in essence, God's seva is naam japana. And Bani says this, and there's a talk that says Vaheguru's seva is not the things that we do for human beings, but instead naam simran. Let me just get to the. I should have pressed yes. Okay. So another word for seva is what on this slide? Another word for seva? Somebody work it out. Hanjijot Singh. Tehel, yeah. Yeah, don't do it. Swala Sajab at the end we say Sant Tehel ki bela. Tehel means to serve. Har ki tehel kamavani. How do we do seva of God? By Japiye Prabh ka naam. Vaheguru doesn't need our seva. If we don't worship God, yeah, vada na hoye, kaat na jaye. God doesn't increase or decrease whether we do his bhakti or not. Yeah. So Vaheguru's seva is naam japana. So if we go back to Japji Sahib, Guruji says, Jin sevya tin paya maan.
So what's man?
What does maan
So
mean?
what do we obtain by doing this seva of Vaheguru? And honour. Okay. And it's honour not in the conventional sense that because he's the Prime Minister or she's the Prime Minister or is this or is that. This is spiritual honour. This is where people that have done bhakti themselves will then say that this person is worthy of praise because he has done bhakti, or is now one with Vaheguru. The true essence of being honoured is being honoured in Vaheguru's court. Yeah, that Mukh Dwar we were talking about is that you actually enter that door. You just go past that front door into Vaheguru's Darbar.
So Maharaj says, Apa karni hai seva of Vaheguru. Not in the conventional sense as we say, but by naam japana. Jin sevya, I jini naam japya. Tin paya maan. The other seva we still do. We don't say we don't do that. That's a different type of seva. Yeah. And Guruji then says, Nanak gaviye guni nidan. Vaheguru is an ocean of excellence, a treasure chest of goodness, of virtues, of Gun. And we need to sing those Gun. Nanak gaviye, what? Guni nidan. We have to sing those praises when Amrit Vela Sachanao Badiyai Vichar. Yeah? Nanak gaviye guni nidan. We sing those praises. Now coming back to the seva, Vaheguru we says has two sarup. What are the two sarup of Vaheguru? Anji? Nirgun. When we do Vaheguru's Naam Simran Bhakti, we are doing Vaheguru's Nirgun Sarup ki seva, Naam Japke. When we serve mankind, whether it's seva in the Gurdwara, whether it's for charity, whether it's for the homeless, we are serving Vaheguru's other Roop, Vaheguru's Sargun Sarup, and each time we are doing Vaheguru's seva. So Jin Sevya, yeah, Tin Paya Maan, but Apa Ki, what is that seva we need to do? Nanak Gaviye Guni Nadan. So we need to sing Vaheguru's praises. That's this seva that's mentioned here. And then how? Then the Siddhs are asking, Kidda Gona hai? Yeah? Gaviye. What does Gav mean? Gaviye mean? All together? Sing. What do we sing? Vaheguru's praises. Yeah? Now, what do we use to sing Vaheguru's praises? From within ourselves, not a guitar or a bhaja. Kidda gaida? What do you need? Voice. And with it, how do you project your voice? How do you make the sounds? Anji? Mouth, yeah. And what else is there in your mouth? Tongue. Often Maharaj talks about Jeva, yeah? Jeeb, the tongue. He talks about Rasana, yeah? Rasana japti tu hi. Kirat prabh ki gao meri Rasana. We have to sing Vaheguru's Gun with our Rasana. Gaviye with our tongue, our mouth. Maho ke bolan boliye. Bolna the jeeb nahi hai, through the mouth, yeah? Gaviye suniye. What does suniye mean? So what we don't do is just gaviye. Now our Jatha just did do shabd gaya sega, but did we listen? Yes. Gaviye, हम जब आपको बाणी पढ़नी है कीर्तन सुनना है गाविए, but we have to do something with it. सुनिए. Yeah. अंतर्गुरु आराधना जेवा जप को नाव नेत्री सतगुरु पेखना सुनने सुनने सुना गौर now. Each of our indriya, our eyes, our ears, our tongue, our hands, our feet, have a function in Sikhi. Yeah? So gaviye, onu ga ke apa sunna bhi hai. Gaviye suniye. But we have to son in a particular way. In this year, out that year. We might have heard the shabd today, and then by tomorrow we might have forgotten it. No. Waheguru says gaviye suniye. And what does this next part say altogether? We've already said what Pao is.
Yeah. So, Pao, we talked about as being the language of Waheguru, is the unconditional love that Waheguru has. Is one that if we share, we become more like Waheguru. Yeah. So, this idea of Pao it's an avastha, it's a state of mind, it's a state of your spirituality. So the importance of it is that if we become like Waheguru, we become more likely to become with Waheguru, is to become one with Waheguru. So the gun that Waheguru has, like Pao, yeah, if we practice those same gun, the idea behind it is that we actually become like Waheguru and become one with Waheguru. Yeah.
So singing Waheguru's gun means we become like him. Now, some of you do Job Sahib. Job Sahib is full of Waheguru's gun. So we just did the chant Gobinde Mukande. And a challenge for him at saying for next time. Ek achri chand vich kinne gone hai Waheguru de. Yeah? You guys probably know them off the top of your head. Yeah? How does ek achri chand go? Yeah. Just short, one word. Ek achri chand. In one word, Maharaj does Waheguru's gun, sings Waheguru's gun. All of Job Sahib is just full of Waheguru's gun. Guru Gobind Singh just give him just that bani, just like to give us tongue twisters. He gave it because we sing Waheguru's gun. When you sing Waheguru's gun, you become like him. If Waheguru is Diyalu, then we should become Diyalu. If Waheguru is full of daya, full of compassion, we should become compassionate.
So today, the Govinda Mukande talk, Guru Gobind Singh Ji blessed us because Guru Gobind Singh Ji sayings asked Guruji, said, give us a mantra. Yeah. Often when you go to a guru, you say sort of mantra do. Yeah. They were saying that other people that other people that follow other faiths, unko mantra hai, sanu mantra do. And that Govinda Mukande is a mantra that Guru Gobind Singh Ji blessed his Sikhs with. And that's why often we job that in isolation of Job Sahib as well.
So Gaviye Suniye, but by Man Rakhiye Pao. We have to have love. We must love Bani. We must love Sikhi. We must love the Guru. But if we have love for the Shabd, Gaviye Suniye.
So the idea is when we remember and when we do job, apna Pao Banda, we can establish Pao, we can establish this love, this universal love, by remembering and by repeating. Yeah, it doesn't just happen. Yeah, we have to create, we have to find that love within us.
Often it says that thing that is in your yard, in your remembrance, you love. So if you have a relative or a friend who goes overseas, you often keep in touch with them because you have a bow and a remembrance for them. Once you stop contacting them, your bow, your love for them begins to diminish or can diminish. So Sogal with Waheguru is that the more we keep Waheguru in our remembrance, the more our pyar, the more our love grows for Waheguru. So the next line says, if you do that, yeah, then dukh par har, sukh kar leh jaye. Now when we did the Sukhmani Sahib program, what did we say Sukh is? All together? What's Sukh? Hanji? Happiness, yeah.
Peace.
Peace, yeah. The duck,
Change.
the other side of the coin. Duck, sock. Duck, sock exists. But Maharaj says that the world is full of duck. Duk parha. We need to exchange that duck. Nanak dukhiya. All together? Do you know it? Nanak dukhiya sab sansar. Guru Nanak Dev Ji gives examples from history. Not just this jog, but other jogs. Yeah? Because sare dukhi hai. Ram was dukhi. The Pandavas were dukhi. Harnakish, no, not the other one. Who kidnapped Sita? Ravan. That's it, I couldn't remember Ravan's name. Ravan was dukhi. Sare dukhi. Why? Nanak dukhiya sab sansar. Maharaj says, Jojo dise so rogi. Whoever I look at, they're diseased. Rogya, dokada. Birth and death is a dock. Maharaj says, change that dock out. The reason why people in dock is they're addressing the dock in the wrong way. Duk par har, change it out, send it away, bare kar de dock. And instead, sukh kar le a. Now in our houses, we make sock for ourselves. We put carpet on the floor, nice sofas, soning a bit down to the janga. Yeah? And then we buy nice cars. And apne car which bought sock here for the body. Instead, what happens is, jira apna hirda rupi karya, our heart, our mind, our soul, in this car, we don't put any sock in there. Or humans don't, I don't mean you guys, yeah? That human is focused on the worldly house and not the hirda house, yeah? So once Maharaj says, you sing Vaheguru's gone, you're going to get sock. Why? Because you exchange out. Now, examples are rulers and kings in the past have tried to give their population, their inhabitants, peace, and they failed. Doctors, nurses, hakims tried to give people physical rest from dock. But every time they find a cure for something, another disease comes. Dock dur nahi hunda. Then you have mental illnesses, and you have psychologists and lots of people that work with mental illness to make mental illness go away, but they can't. So the duck never goes away. Jojo dise so rogi.
And this same dock as well. We believe that we can exchange dock with worldly sock. So we think that if we do really well in our jobs at work, sanu sock mil jana. But 30, 40 years of work experience tells us that in the world of work, koi sock nahi hega. Yeah? You might think that sock hega, there isn't. People think that sock sanu mil jana, sanu kar mil jana in our family lives. Well, sorry to burst anybody's bubble, but within family lives, sock koi mid level na milta. Because you find a bit of sock, round the corner there'll be dock as well, of separation.
So Maharaj says the way to get rid of dock is naam japana. Yeah, the before.
Is to find the asli sukh.
By gaviye, suninge, and man rakhiye pao. Love the shabd, love the instruction of the Guru. Yeah, and then what will happen? Dukh par har, sukh kar la jai. Vaheguru. And then Maharaj goes on to say, Gurmukh nadan, Gurmukh vedan, Gurmukh reha samay. When we naam jap, we do the gaviye bit. Yeah, the Guru is giving us something. The Guru, through his mokh, is giving us a ball, the bani. That is called nad, sound. It is the Guru that through his instruction through the nad that makes us lose dock and become gosik and become sukhi. Gurmukh Vedang, what the shabd that comes through the Guru's mokh is the knowledge that we need. You know, when I said we were addressing our dock in the wrong way, because we try to do it our way, but the Gurmukh Vedang, the Guru's instruction, the knowledge the Guru wants to give, comes only from the Guru. And the Gurmukh Reha Samay. The instruction of the Guru needs to be absorbed in us. The Guru is all pervading, is everywhere. We just need to recognize Vaheguru and the Guru. So Gurmukh Nadam, Guru is in the Shabd, Gurmukh Vedam, Guru is the knowledge, Gurmukh Riyasamai. Guru is absorbed everywhere. The Guru's wisdom is absorbed everywhere. And last program we talked about, Ik Sansarik Pandarik Lai Diban. What are they called? They're called Devte. And in Hindu philosophy and belief, there are 33 million Devte. And people worship the different Devte because they think that each one gives you a different sock. Lakshmi will give you money. So-and-so will give you this. We talked about Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Brahma will give you knowledge. Yeah? Vishnu will give you data. Yeah? But Maharaj says, Thada Asli Guru, wo is Gur Isa. Gur Gork, Brahma Gur, Parvati.
So the uniqueness of the Guru is that the Guru has all of these virtues. In the one Guru, you have the virtues of knowledge, the virtues of wisdom, the virtues of giving, and the virtue that Parvati Ma has is one of Seva. The Guru has that as well. So the Guru is unique. Yeah, Guru is above Devte for that reason. Guru is placed. Guru Nanak Dev Ji is saying the Guru is above Devte. The 30 crore Devte, the Trinity, if you like, within the Hindu mythology. Yeah, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. Guruji is saying that Guru is above that. Why? Because instead of having these individual virtues and people worshipping these individual virtues, the Guru has each of those virtues, every one of those virtues in the single Guru.
So Guru has so much virtues that Guru Nanak says, Jai Ho Jana. If I knew them all, yeah, Jai Ho Jana Akhanai, I still wouldn't be able to say them all, and I'm not going to say them all. Why? Because Kaina Katana Jai. That anybody's Jawan, anybody's ability to speak of Vaheguru is limited. It is within parameters. Yeah? So we can only talk our intellect. There's people more intellectual in the world that can only talk about God at a level. And everything is within a parameter, within a level. Yeah? Maharaj says, Jai Ho Jana. Guru Nanak Dev Ji knew Vaheguru, but in their Nimarta they write, Jai Ho Jana. If I knew God, Akanahi. Yeah, later on we say that it's like describing God is like trying to chew iron. Yeah, Maharaj says Akanahi. Why? Because Kerna Katanajai, he cannot be described in words. You can only experience Vaheguru through power, through love. And Guruji then goes into Benti. Gura, my Guru, my Vaheguru. Gura ek deh bujai. The Siddhs ask, well, how then? And Maharaj says, if do an ardas before Guru, before God, Vaheguru, give me this understanding. Give me the understanding that I can understand the hukam, I can love Vaheguru and sing Vaheguru's Gaun. Gura ek deh bujai, the Malik that has given everything to us, who is the Data, yeah, he has given us everything, and we need to budge this, we need to understand this. And the next two Pauringa finish with these two lines. Gura ek deh bujai. What is that? That Vaheguru is Sabana Jiya ka ek Data. He gives data to everybody and everything. So may I never visar na jai. That we never forget Vaheguru.
Because all these gifts emanate from Vaheguru. By remembering Vaheguru, we acknowledge that Vaheguru has given us these gifts. Yeah. So as we've said, if somebody or something is close, if we simmer it, if we remember it, we retain that connection. When we visit it, when we forget it, that connection then begins to break, becomes weaker. Yeah. So that the essence of this body is when we remember, our connection with Vaheguru remains strong. When we forget, that connection then begins to break.
Okay, we're at 4 o'clock, but I'm just because we've got up to 5 Pauringa now, right? What I'd like to do is for you all together, 5 Pauringa ikkathe kar lenge, then we'll do Samadhi. Okay. Just come up on the screen, yeah. Because there's no point having 15 years and not doing any bar. So, all together. ਪੰਜ ਪੌੜੀਆਂ ਕਰ ਲਈਏ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਨਾਮ ਕਰਤਾ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰਭਉ ਨਿਰਵੈਰ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੂਰਤ ਅਜੂਨੀ ਸੈਭੰ ਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ ਜਪ ਆਦਿ ਸੱਚ ਜੁਗਾਦ ਸੱਚ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ ਨਾਨਕ ਹੋਸੀ ਵੀ ਸੱਚ। ਸੋਚਿਆ ਸੋਚ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਜੇ ਸੋਚੀ ਲੱਖ ਵਾਰ ਚੁੱਪੈ ਚੁੱਪ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਜੇ ਲਾਇ ਨਾ ਲਗਤਾਰ। ਭੁਖਿਆ ਭੁਖ ਨਾ ਉਤਰੀ ਜੇ ਬੰਨਾ ਪੁਰਿਆ ਪਾਰ। ਸਹਿ ਸਿਆਪਾ ਲੱਖ ਹੋਏ ਤਾਈ ਨਾ ਚੱਲੇ ਨਾਲ। ਕਿਵ ਸਚਿਆਰਾ ਹੋਈਐ ਕਿਵ ਕੂੜੈ ਟੁੱਟੈ ਪਾਲ। ਹੁਕਮ ਜਾਈ ਚੱਲਣਾ ਨਾਨਕ ਲਿਖਿਆ ਨਾਲ। ਹੁਕਮੀ ਹੋਣ ਆਕਾਰ ਹੁਕਮ ਨ ਕਹਿਆ ਜਾਏ। ਹੁਕਮੀ ਹੋਵਨ ਜੀਅ ਹੁਕਮ ਹੈ ਵਡਿਆਈ। ਹੁਕਮੀ ਉਤਮ ਨੀਚ ਹੁਕਮ ਲਿਖ ਦੁਖ ਸੁਖ ਪਾਈਐ। ਇਕ ਨਾ ਹੁਕਮੀ ਬਖਸ਼ੀਸ ਇਕ ਹੁਕਮੀ ਸਦਾ ਪਾਈਐ। ਹੁਕਮੈ ਅੰਦਰ ਸਭ ਕੋ ਬਾਹਰ ਹੁਕਮ ਨਾ ਕੋਇ। ਨਾਨਕ ਹੁਕਮੈ ਜੇ ਪੁੱਜੈ ਤਾ ਹਉਮੈ ਕਹਿ ਨਾ ਕੋਇ। ਗਾਵੇ ਕੋ ਤਾਨ ਹੋਵੇ ਸਿਧਾਨ। ਗਾਵੇ ਕੋ ਤਾਤ ਜਾਣੈ ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨ। ਗਾਵੇ ਕੋ ਵਿਦਿਆ ਜਾਣ। ਗਾਵੇ ਕੋ ਵਿਦਿਆ ਵਿਚਾਰ। ਗਾਵੇ ਕੋ ਸਾਚ ਰੇ ਤਨ ਕੇ। ਗਾਵੇ ਕੋ ਜੀ ਰਹਿ ਫਿਰਤੇ। ਗਾਵੇ ਕੋ ਜਾਪੇ ਦਿਸੈ ਦੂਰ। ਗਾਵੇ ਕੋ ਵੇਖੈ ਹਾਦਾ ਦੂਰ। ਕਥਨਾ ਕਥੀ ਨਾ ਆਵੇ ਤੋਰ। ਕਥ ਕਥ ਕਥੀ ਕੋਟੀ ਕੋਟ ਕੋਟ। ਦਿਨਾ ਦੇ ਦੰਦੇ ਥਕਾਈ ਜੁਗਾ ਜਗਤ ਖਾਲੀ ਖਾਏ। ਹੁਕਮੀ ਹੁਕਮ ਚਲਾਏ ਰਾਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਵਿਗਸੈ ਬੇਪਰਵਾਹ। ਸਾਚਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸਾਚ ਨਾਏ ਆਖਿਆ ਪਉ ਅਪਾਰ। ਆਖਿਆ ਮੰਗਲੇ ਦੇਹ ਤੇ ਦਾਤ ਕਰੇ ਦਾਤਾਰ। ਫੇਰ ਕੇ ਅੱਗੇ ਰੱਖੀਐ ਜਿਤ ਦਿਸੈ ਦਰਬਾਰ। ਮੋਹ ਕੇ ਬੋਲਨ ਬੋਲੀਐ ਜਿਤ ਸੁਨ ਕਰੇ ਪਿਆਰ। ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਵੇਲਾ ਸਚ ਨਾਉ ਵਡਿਆਈ ਵਿਚਾਰ। ਕਰਮੀ ਆਵੇ ਕਪੜਾ ਨਕਲੀ ਮੋਹ ਦੁਆਰ। ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵੈ ਜਾਣੀਐ ਸਭ ਆਪੇ ਸਚਿਆਰ। ਥਾਪਿਆ ਨਾ ਜਾਏ ਕੀਤਾ ਨਾ ਹੋਏ ਆਪੇ ਆਪ ਨਿਰੰਜਨ ਸੋਏ। ਜਿਨ ਸੇਵਿਆ ਤਿਨ ਪਾਇਆ ਮਾਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਗਾਵੇ ਗੁਣੀ ਨਿਦਾਨ। ਗਾਵੇ ਸੁਣਿਐ ਮਨ ਰਖਿਆ ਪਾਉ ਦੁਖ ਪਰ ਹਰ ਸੁਖ ਕਰ ਲੈ ਜਾਏ। ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਨਾਦੰ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਵੇਦੰ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਰਹਿ ਸਮਾਈ। ਗੁਰ ਈਸਰ ਗੁਰ ਗੋਰਖ ਬ੍ਰਹਮਾ ਗੁਰ ਪਾਰਵਤੀ ਮਾਈ। ਜੇ ਹਉ ਜਾਣਾ ਆਖਾ ਨਾਹੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕਥਨ ਨ ਜਾਏ। ਗੁਰਾ ਏਕ ਦੇਹ ਬੁਝਾਈ ਸਭਨਾ ਜੀਆ ਕਾ ਏਕ ਦਾਤਾ ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਵਿਸਰ ਨਾ ਜਾਈ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। So thank you for listening today. So today we've gotten up to 5 Pauri. Next class slide is here. 4 weeks time, 3rd of March. There we go. Yeah, we'll do Pauri 6 and 7. Yeah. Does anybody want to volunteer for the Kirtan slot?
Or presentation.
Or a presentation? Yeah.
Don't all volunteer at once.
We'll find somebody. Okay. We'll find somebody. Yeah. Okay. There's 4 weeks to go. That's that. As we say, thank you very much because this is the 15th anniversary. Some of you were there right at the outset 15 years ago. And most of you, if you do double line the downstairs classroom, that's where the first one was. I think there was 12 little kids.
They're not little anymore.
Some aren't little so anymore. Yeah. So those of you that were born in between, thank you. Himmat Singh's our new recruit, and I think he's going to get a regular slot by the sounds of that. But as we say, there's longer now as normal. We've done a little bit of cake because I think it just would be right. But as often is the question, first Sikhi class, somebody who at first Sikhi class, whose birthday was it yesterday? Okay, don't say yet. Little clue.
And again.
Anybody we know? If that was a bit hard, the answer is.
Not
Okay.
about the back.
Not that one. That one. Okay. So our new technician. You didn't know that was going to happen, did you? No. Sorry, yeah. Okay. Okay. Hona po fatibla. You will come back next month. have longer. Yeah, Maharaj.
And some gift bags.
Yeah, Maharaj. May Maharaj bless us with Sikhi and give us the strength to carry on with this program. As I said, we are not really capable of talking about Japji Sahib, but we just try. And as a Sangat, the biggest thing is when you sit together as Sangat, do part together, yeah, learn from each other. Although pyar, the pao, the pakya, pao, pa becomes easier, yeah, a little bit easier. So, good for there now, and then we'll meet next month. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki